Okie dokes. Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Midwest Survival Guide. First, we're going to get some credits going for you. So we got William Morrow and HarperAudio present the Midwest Survival Guide. How we talk, love, work, drink, and eat everything with ranch by Charlie Berens. This is the author. For Grandpa Bob. If all perch go to heaven, it's a little awkward for Grandpa Bob right now. Here's a little note before we begin. Make sure you download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/The Midwest Survival Guide. It contains a glossary, recipes, and more that will be referred to as the enhancement. Introduction. Life in the Midwest. For years as a comedian, I've been touring around telling stories about the greatest place on earth, the Midwest. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Ohio, Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri stick out like a silo in a skyline. As a guy born and raised in Wisconsin, I've had the privilege of witnessing the quirks of the Midwest up close. I'll be honest with you. This is a weird place, but that's what keeps it filled with the world's best-kept secrets. And we can't just keep those secrets buried deep inside, because that's where our feelings go. Rather, like a bag of frozen perch from the bottom of my garage freezer, we must share these secrets with anyone who asks, but especially those who don't. And that's what inspired this book. Throughout my years on stage, I've noticed Midwest audiences like stories about sunken ice shanties and church-sponsored bar crawls. That's expected. We're a unique and close-knit club bound by April snow, wallets lost in cornfields, and lying about the best colored jig to catch a walleye so there's more in the lake for the liars. But I never expected this thing would take off across the country. Apparently there's a big demand for freezer perch. Oddly enough, my Midwest-themed Man-to-Walk Minute character, inspired by the time I spent working in local news, first debuted on stage at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. During the show, I asked, is anyone from the Midwest? And one guy, who may or may not have had a couple 2-3 beers, says, oh yeah, me, I'm from Man-to-Walk. We had a good back and forth in the bit, so I named the Man-to-Walk Minute series after him. But he wasn't the only Midwesterner to raise his hand that night. Turned out, a quarter of the room in that LA comedy club was from the American heartland. So I reawakened my native accent, which I'd spent years trying to remove from my budding journalism career, and delivered local and national news and self-deprecating jokes through the lens of the quintessential Midwesterner. I thought I'd release one video and that would be it. But after the success of the first video, I knew I had to keep making more. At first, I was concerned I wouldn't have enough material, but then I remembered that the Midwest is like an onion. And not just any onion. It's the one you forgot about in the back of the crisper that started to sprout. It's full of layers and complexity. It looks a little funny. It makes you cry sometimes when you pull back those layers. And when you plant it, you get another crisper full of onions for your liverwurst. In other words, the material has been heartfelt, bizarre, and endless. The Man-to-Walk Minute soon turned into a live show and social brand. I released the Midwest album Unthawed with Adam Gruhl from Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, and it topped the bluegrass charts. I collaborated with comedians across the United States, and I even created a beer. Eventually, the fan base grew to millions. In short, I got luckier than a buck that just crossed I-94. I've thought about why Midwest life resonates with the rest of the country, and here's what I came up with. First, because everyone's either from the Midwest or knows someone from the Midwest. Second, because the Midwest has largely been underrepresented, or falsely represented, in pop culture. We've been flown over culturally, and most people only seem to notice us every 4 years when we take an outsized control over the political landscape. In truth, the Midwest is an old, dried-up lakebed just waiting for the dam to break, a complex and diverse region that is empirically, despite what those on the coast might think, more exciting than vanilla extract. And no offense to vanilla extract. Sooner or later, everyone's coming to the Midwest. It's unavoidable.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?